different political party. At the same, I think you've seen the popularity vote by Sonko, and so I think in Nairobi a lot of people follow the popularity politics more than actually the mtuetu thing that is always seen in the rural areas of the other places where MPs come from. And I think we also confuse our MPs who sit the parliamentary building in Nairobi to be our representatives in Nairobi. I think there's a confusion. I think we have to understand that these MPs actually represent their people in the rural area. I think that's why Kigen tried to say politics is local and everything. I thought that's what they allude to when they're saying, yeah, this guy is just, this MP is sitting in Nairobi somewhere, living his life in Nairobi, partying with us and doing whatever, he was Salasia or something. But he actually only represents his people in a certain constituency huko Ushago, penye hata tujaifika, penye hatujui. He will actually be maybe voted by 1,000 people and he is into parliament, ama less than 10,000. I saw some people actually voted by less than 10,000, they're already into parliament, you know, because maybe for the people there in this constituency, he's the only option, or probably he's riding with the big boys, or political that the political stage, probably if it's an ODM zone or if now it's a UDA zone. Coming back to the space that happened yesterday, where I was, that's why I wanted to first divert kidogo with Laban on this issue, because I think Ruto is actually a smart politician. First, you'll have to give it to him on that. And I don't say that we have to agree to his antics and all his moves, but we have to agree to his smartness. And Laban, what was on the ballot? If you want to say that we did a mistake by voting him in 2022 into power, look at the ballot. I think the middle class, if we now bring the conversation of the middle class in Kenya, the middle class is solely to blame on representation. They don't have someone who represents them because we don't table people to represent us. We don't actually put people out there to represent us. We've not seen such a candidate from Kilimani, from Kileleshwa, who steps up and goes to presidency, or who steps up and then says, yeah, I'm a born Nairobi guy, I grew up here, and I'm now really riding until to presidency, or maybe I'm going to actually vote, vie for presidency or vie for something. And if and when we see such, they are easily shot down because, again, politics is so local and it's so tribalized in our country. Ruto space, I was finishing up with this on the last space when it dropped Kibe. I think Ruto has adapted. That's why I said he's a bit smart. Yeah, he's not. I think he's really adapted to the situation that has been coming up in the country in the last weeks. Often you saw that he took a step back. First he was a bit reactional on the first Tuesday. Then he decided to take a step back. The following day he came with a different statement. From that moment, he has been learning on what's expected. Of course, he has intelligence. Everyone is working. A lot of people are working under him to actually give him the intelligence. Anytime he gave in to what the youth wanted, the youth didn't have a counter because the youth were leaderless. They didn't have a direction of what we want next, what's next. So anytime he gave in, he said, okay, drop the finance bill. We didn't know what to do next. We had to halt a bit. Then all of a sudden Ruto must go movement start, yeah, and all of us have to ride. Then a few people like Kibe drop out and say, yo, me, I was just for the drop finance bill stuff. I wasn't for actually Ruto must go. So I think these are two contradicting things. So then Ruto steps back. Kibe steps back. Kibe and a million other people like him probably all step back. I was one of them also who said, yeah, I wasn't for the Ruto must go movement. I was more for the finance bill being dropped. Okay, that means, of course, he's winning. As a government, of course, they keep winning through that, yeah. Then as a movement, then we keep being weakened. Then again, he says, then people are agitated. He said, we will not form a round table. He says, let's have a round table. Everyone goes, no round table, what. He has to come to spaces. Okay. And he says, yeah, I'm going to come to the space on Friday. And rumor goes around, and now everyone gets agitated, and everyone says, no, we will not listen to his space. We're going to block him. We will not pick up mics. We will not do what? Okay. He comes to the space, and his space blows up. 500 guys, 500,000 guys, or some, the space is full. No, everyone had said, we're going to use Jacob Juma pictures. No Jacob Juma picture I saw on that space. I was on that space from when it started to the last bit. Then again, the demographics, the middle class Kibe that we are talking of, that keeps failing itself. We self-sabotage ourselves. And as a politician, I can tell you, often they don't really care about the middle class. They care. The voting block is the people on the on the lower edge of the economy, and of course the capital owners who are more up there. They need to safeguard their capital, their wealth, and invest or do whatever. But the people pale chini, mama mbogas, those are the people that are voting. The middle class, we are there to be taxed. So as again, venye tumesema, middle class people always sabotage themselves to talk to the president and to say, this is a problem, do this, and do this. But we all sabotaged ourselves. We said, no, I cannot pick up the mic, I cannot do what. They had all those rumors. We talk a lot on spaces here, but when the president was on the space, over 500,000 people on that space, no one turned up. And who was representing us? Osama Otero. Sindio? He will, like Kibe says, yeah, he'll come speak his broken stuff. He'll represent us as he thinks. This is how he holds his spaces. If you've attended his spaces, that's how he also talks. That's so there's nothing to actually stone him about. Yeah, that's him and that's his life. No one comes up to actually have a real discussion with the president on the key issues. Then of course the president wins in that, because then he propagates his of course his propaganda thrives. His PR team continues doing what he does. We've seen all the videos going around, and he comes up as a winner because, of course, he keeps, it's politics. He keeps convincing us. He keeps giving us hope that something is coming up better. I don't think we need to save ourselves. I think we don't need any saving. I think we, the middle class, know why we actually act that way, and we know that we don't actually participate in politics. We leave the politics, or we actually just discuss it, but we don't actually actively participate. And I don't think we have actually a right. I've seen a lot of spaces, people from diaspora complaining day in, day out. But when the platform was there to complain to the president directly, they did not. They were nowhere to be seen. They spoke about having spaces, having what? Yeah, but their spaces had 1,000 people, and the president had 500,000 people. Then can you on that platform come up and actually table the issues that we've been having? For me, that failed, and I see ourselves as the problem. I drop it at that. Asante.
Thank you, Albert. Mercy, are you here? So you see, for me, my whole point was the Gen Z movement was so powerful that they did not need to be given anything. They were the power. They didn't need to be given anything. The person with the power is the one who gives. It's very complicated, but the Gen Z didn't need to be given anything. I mean, at least this movement didn't need to be given anything, because once you're given, then you are a slave to the lender. Whoever gives you, you are his bitch. DCI portraits, what's up? Thank you, Albert.
Yes. Nawasikia.
Unasemaje? understand that mannerlessness. Paris Wangari, are you there? Paris Wangari, are you there? Going once, going twice. Mulwa Mbinya.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody. I support what you say, that we should have our own political party. I think that is the only way we are able to pass anything we really want. So I really support that. And I think as Gen Zs, they should just do that. That's the only way. Me, I just see that because if you're leaderless, who are you going to tell what? We've realized that they'll ask too many questions. Who is your leader, So I think instead of us, getting all this being bought, the people who are being bought, that's the problem. All right. But I think we should just have our own political party, and then you will see yourself sailing through. That's all I can really say. Okay. All the best.
Thank you, Mulwa. Are you in diaspora?
Yes.
Which part of diaspora?
I'm in Europe.
So you felt that disappointment when that atrocity
Of
happened
course, yesterday he was just taking. Yes, he was just taking us round. Yesterday he was just taking us round. That guy was taking us round. You remember what he did to Linus Kaikoi when he was, trying to answer questions? He would start like this, and then Linus will take him back. So that's what we should have done. We should have learned from what we saw from Linus and the other two presenters. So we should have made sure whatever you ask, let him answer to that. But we didn't do that. A lot of us bubbled up too much. I think people were not even prepared for it. So for me, I think he just took us round, and then he's too clever, because yesterday he already briefed up, So and they already had seen what guys are going to say. They had gone to the spaces. They can see what Kenyans are saying. At the end of the day, we're getting nowhere. I think also another thing maybe we should do to help ourselves, Kibe, is that we should open up fundings to help. Like a lot of young people because a lot of people don't have jobs, who are trying to open up some businesses. I don't know. And there was also this Changa Africa. I don't know, that money which was raised. Did it go to the right? It was supposed to go to all the people who were injured. Did it go to those people? Were the hospital bills paid? Those are the kind of things I've been asking. I even wrote to them. They didn't even reply. So I'm wondering, all that money that people removed, it was over 20 million. Where did it go? Those are the kind of things we need. Actually, very transparent people in life. I don't know. I have worked very well with a lot of people, and if you're not.
Did we lose you, Mulwa? I think we lost you. Kalicha, is she around?
Yes, Kibe.
I'm saying you cannot hear Mulwa, can you?
I can hear. Sorry,
there was
a line which is there was a line which got in. Sorry, I was saying we shouldn't take any bribes. We should be more transparent in life. And as I was saying, we should start up something that can help the youth. Let us start up people who need to do businesses, who need to open up something.
Mulwa.
Yes.
My biggest issue today, and which is what I've been sitting here for the last couple of hours discussing, is that you and I are not represented.
Yes, of course.
On any level. So whatever ideas you have, you see, like the other day when you guys were very excited and you wanted to help out and you sent 20, 30 million shillings from diaspora.
Yes.
Because you thought finally now we have people who are conscious, but you didn't know that you were dealing with con men.
Exactly.
So we don't have our own representation. It's time now we wake up as people who are of this side, wake up and start getting that representation. Because all these issues that you have,
Yes.
Like now, like issues of like cleanliness.
Yes.
Let's talk about cleanliness for 1 second.
Yes.
The first thing anybody who has lived in Nairobi,
Yes.
who has lived in the flats, would ever do once you get a seat in the in any government is clean up, right?
Yes. Of course.
Very different from what you think your cleanliness in Nairobi is. So when they come to Nairobi, to them already Nairobi is already clean.
Yes.
So you cannot make it better. So my point is,
Yes.
instead of us getting fixated on the small issues, whatever the issue is, it doesn't
Yes.
matter.
Yes.
We focus on representation, because once we get good representation,
Yes.
then all our problems are sorted. Now you see, for me, you and I can sit and have a conversation,
Yes.
but I cannot sit and have a conversation with Millicent Omanga.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because the representation is very different. So we need now
Exactly.
women like you,
Yes.
men around the world, who are
Yes.
going to stand up and say, this is me putting myself out there to represent.
No problem.
Are you willing to do that?
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't have a problem with that.
Because remember the time when this thing started, these guys tried to shame
Yes.
the diaspora people. Remember that? They
Yes.
said,
I
oh, you
remember.
guys are not even in Kenya. How dare you have an opinion about something like this? But you guys are the money.
But we even voted for presidential, and you saw what the results.
How dare somebody who is not the money try to tell me not to have an opinion, and yet I'm the money?
That is it. That's okay. Yes, Rehamwe. I do understand you very well.
So now when you look at parliament, what's your name? Mulwa.
Yes.
Kibe,
Do you
if I may
see a
interject.
single... Ngoja, you'll interject. I promise you.
I know it's something that you guys are talking about. And
Okay,
I
go
want
ahead.
you to,
Go
as you
ahead.
talk about it, you address it also.
Mm-hmm.
My question is now, the fact that you're saying that we need representation, what is the scale, or is there a particular scale that you can use to actually like say, you know what, this is a good person and who this one is not? Just as you talk about that, ponder about that also.
That's true. I think that's an honest discussion.
You see, the beauty about the internet is that the internet, we can pull up anything anytime. Okay? It's not like Zamani where somebody could stand on a platform and lie to you and lie to you and lie to you about all his achievements or all the things that he's tried to do in this life. So it's very easy. It's very easy to put yourself out there. Kigen, why is your mic on? That doesn't make sense. I'm talking to Mulwa. Mulwa, what do you think about what Kalicha said?
What? This who just talked just right now?
Yeah.
I didn't hear. Can you repeat his question, please?
Yeah, Mulwa, I was asking, like, is there the fact that we're talking about representation, is there a particular scale we can be able to use to say, you know what, this is a good person and this one is not? And the reason I'm saying this is because I'm using the context of that particular women rep in Bomet, and that woman didn't have anything. She was basically like, her campaign was sponsored by everyone. There's a person who used his border to take her all around. But the other day,
Yeah, I saw that.
she put people down, and she voted for the finance bill
Yes, she did.
against the wishes of her own people. Yeah, that's my point. What scale do you use?
Yeah, I think we can. You see, if we start up something like where we can start having a political when we can start having political parties, the same political party represented also in Europe, I think it's it's bingo. I think we need something like that. I think we need we really need a political party, honestly. That's the only way they can listen to us. Because we're not, if we have serious political party, then we have a lot of representatives in the whole of Kenya. And you can see the Gen Zs, all of them winning to get the seat. Because you're the majority. You're the young people. It's so much easy like that. It's easy to now wipe out all the old people from the system.
And not
I
just
look at it
that,
that way.
Mulwa. Right now, it's easy
Yes.
to also be scientific about it. We can go in there
Yes.
surgically, put in the person that
Yes.
we want, get rid of the person that we don't want.
Okay.
Surgically, because we have the power of the internet, the power of computation. All right, thank you, Mulwa. Anything else?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, let me move to crypto for life. God damn, these kind of accounts.
Okay, how are you guys?
Great, what's up?
Yeah, very fine. Okay, I will just want to talk to, I think is Keegan, ex team Keegan, who the question he had asked about the skills of the leader. If the skills which he can use for us to get a good leader. So first things, he was talking about the Bomet. That lady of Bomet who went ahead and did what we didn't select him to go and represent us for. He didn't follow our voice. So that lady. So that lady was answering to his bosses. And the bosses there, it is the UDA party leader. So the UDA party leader needed him to vote yes. So he couldn't go against his bosses. So now, whatever Kibe you are trying to tell us, it is very correct. We need people to answer for us. We need a party there. We can be making people to be accounted to answer for us people, for us Gen Zs. So we need to come up with a party where those leaders are going to answer, where we select leaders, those are going to be answering to us as their bosses.
All right, 1-0, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes. Yes. Hi, Andrew.
What's happening? Go ahead.
Yes, yes. Now, I am dialing in from Cape Town, South Africa. So, definitely diaspora, but in the continent. So, I just want to give a bit of I want to reiterate what everybody is saying. I've been in this country for 30 years, but also having I had the luxury of being able to go home quite regularly. So, and also having watched this country and seeing how the political landscape has changed for the last 30 years, from the ANC being a two-thirds majority from 67% to 40%. And I want you guys to listen because of the importance of having a political party. In these elections, what happened? South Africa lost, I mean, the ANC lost the elections because of exactly what is happening in Kenya. Kiburi mingi, excessive corruption, lack of a tone-deaf government, exclusion of the youth, people feeling that they are no longer being listened to by the liberation struggle. And we saw the ANC lose 15% of its vote, and the Umkhonto we Sizwe party coming in as a new political party that was registered only in December last year and getting a whooping 15% of the vote first time round, and of course dominating within KZN. So, what did they do right and what did the ANC do wrong? And I would like you guys to understand that having been in the grassroots and understanding these elections, because I am mediating the government of national unity. And this is what I believe we should do as Kenya going forward to leverage on this Gen Z movement, which I don't like to call the Gen Z movement because what we are trying to solve is a Kenyan problem. It's not a Gen Z problem. I think for the matter of sustainability, we do need to figure out how to create cells which are which will go into that will permeate all the way to grassroots level. And there's somebody who mentioned about the middle class being completely disconnected from politics and the youth. same dynamics in this country as well. um, Cells that are going to go to grassroots level and do major civic education to get people to understand how important it is to be at the helm of politics, that politics affects all of us, to understand the importance of voting for people with integrity. And I like what Kibe, you said, that these days you can pull out, you can, I mean, mwizi ni mwizi. The internet is awash with information about people. And then mass voter registration. I mean, you cannot win an election, and that's what the MK did. Mass voter registration. Everywhere you talk, every time you breathe, you ask in every home, did you register to vote? Did you? And the kids that are in school right now in 2027, they will be voters. Let's understand how big that constituency is, and it needs to be approached in a very scientific and orderly manner. And the civic education. And I think for me, what has taught me as I've been watching this entire campaign quietly, it has taught me the power of digital media. Our elections are going to look different. Voter education is going to look different. I have never been on TikTok until I'm a Gen Z mom. I am Gen X. So I've got two twin Gen Zs, and they showed me how to use TikTok. And I was following how they were trying to teach people, their parents, about the issues about the bill. We can I mean, elections are not going to be anymore about who has stolen the most money. It's going to be about who has been looked at and assessed, and then you put all your energy behind this. But for this movement to be sustainable, really some organization has to happen. And it needs to happen from a cellular level, from a macro all the way to micro, to the point where it permeates everywhere. Now, the other thing is funding. Funding, absolutely critical. Yes. For me as a diasporan, my black tax has increased over the last 3 years. I've got 7 male dependents at home, and it's just getting worse. So for me to deal with this problem, it's not a Kenyan problem, it's also my problem. So mobilizing funding, and I've seen and I've felt it and I've looked at it. I even came to Kenya just to watch what was going on. There are people who are willing to put money behind having leaders of integrity. That's not difficult. Mobilizing money is not difficult. So I agree. Getting a political party going, and I've listened to these Gen Zs in their groups, they're not willing. There is something about convincing them to leverage on our networks and our experience to be able to bring some order into the house before this movement falls. And yes, Article 1 of the Constitution allows us to exercise our power to go and recall this presidency. But then what? There are so many things that we are not looking at. This is an entire government with so many arms that need to be fought. We need lawyers, we need economists, we need we need so much. We need a machinery that is going to needs to start working now, as we work towards 2027. And we look at the numbers, elections, even if you cheat, elections are a numbers game. I mean, Ruto won with a few 100,000 votes. If we look at the diaspora together with the Gen Zs and the millennials, and I don't like to use those words because, again, that's just politics for another day. We've got numbers to put a president and an entire government. Even with the cheating, it's not going to be possible. So I agree. Let's get organized. We're talking with some diaspora friends of mine, and we're saying, let's get organized. Let's do what next? Okoa, Kenya. What next? Let's get organized. Let's inspire these young people to come and join us, and let us start volunteering our skills and our time to do something meaningful. And so some of us, we've been around for a while, and we are willing to help, and we have already created a blueprint of how this what next looks like already. I yield the mic. Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you, Wanjiro. That was a nice submission. Because there's also the fear of looking like you're trying to take this away from them. Do you feel that?
Yes, Andrew.
So,
Yes,
like, you
I
have to
have
walk
been.
on eggshells when you're offering help.
Yes, I have actually been accused of trying to usurp the process of bringing my uze, um, and I've heard even people being muted in certain platforms of these Gen Zs. But I understand. I was a student activist when I was at University of Nairobi, and I left for the same reasons. We were fighting more in those days, and I left for the same reasons that these Gen Zs are very frustrated. And I feel like they feel invincible at this point. You just feel like you can use sheer raw power. I understand that energy, but I think this has been a sobering moment for all of them. I think now there is going to be a listening, because I have said you need to leverage on experience and networks. So we need to combine. A war is not fought only from the trenches. You have to fight a war from different places, from the diaspora, from the offices, from the banks, from the ocean, from everywhere. And there's got to be order and there's got to be thoughts. And I think they're beginning to understand this, because now they're beginning to say, okay, what does the Constitution say? Or what does the IEBC say? So it's not just about mandamano, mandamano. People are going to run out of steam, and the business community is going to start getting pissed off, because we need to get back to business. So yes, Andrew, to answer your question, I have felt that way and I have had to retreat, but there's a sobering moment. And there's now, I think it's just about us getting the work done and starting to inspire them to join the group of, let's say, okay, let's put in some order into this thing for sustainability.
Thank you, Wanjiro. Thank you for giving us wonderful insights. Ngudi Juma, jump in here quickly.
Jambo Kibe, how are you doing?
Amazing.
Two issues. One, from the space, we saw how emotions can bring you down, whereby we had speakers getting emotional, and when you're dealing with a politician, emotions will work against you. But that is part of the past. So, next order of business is registration of a political party and registering as voters with the Gen Z. When it comes to registering as the party, as you normally we've talked in so many of your previous spaces, don't wait, don't think, do it. Start the process. Now, you've also mentioned something about being surgical and relying on technology and whatnot. Here's my humble idea. The lady before talked of financing, and I put in my timeline sometime. The Gen Zs, we have some of them who are very, very tech savvy. My take is this: why don't you guys come up with some software that is the equivalent of Microsoft Office, that can work as Microsoft Office and is compatible with Microsoft Office and requires a monthly subscription of 150 shillings per month? I'm ready to use that software for 150 per month. Quick mathematics, we have over 1 million computers in Kenya. That converts to around 100 million shillings per month. Already you become you've already become a juggernaut. Before the election begins, you are a group of young people running a software where other young people, other households are contributing 100 shillings per month to use your software. Cybers, and even when I'm using MS Word, I won't have to use MS Word, I'll use your software. I'll put my 150 per month. You do that, you automatically cause a scare, because you are coming in as the one and only political entity that is tech savvy. This is a political entity that is operating on the backbone of technology, and it is contributed to by the Gen Zs, by the parents, well-wishers, anyone who's using that computer, and he knows very well this software goes towards supporting of this party. Consider it's already you're on the final lap to a victory. So my take is be disruptive in the way of doing things. Instead of waiting for well-wishers, add value. Already by implementing such an idea, you're already building your clout as problem solvers. Your clout is ready. You're no longer the usual mdomo mtupu politicians. I believe I'm not saying this is the best idea, but my take is if you approach this thing, as Kibe said, in a technical, surgical way, that you are presenting yourself as a group of people who are here to solve issues, I think you may even end up sweeping the entire Nairobi County. That's my take. Thank you for allowing me.
That's okay. I believe that's an honest opinion. We must respect them. Thank you so much. If I can be given the floor to speak. I understand that there are many challenges. I understand that the Constitution has also given provisions to address these issues. I also understand that current matters going around the world have also played a large part in the economic factors that we currently face. But I understand that we as human nature can survive it because it is only us who will live on this earth. That said, I also understand that there are so many critical issues that Kenyans have raised. I, just like many other people, have also aired their opinions. And for that, I believe the candid discussion must go on, but I believe it must go on with respect for the government and the President of the Republic of Kenya. And there are no two ways about it, in good faith, because we do not want anarchy. Neither do we want to take 100 years to build something that we destroyed because of 2-3 months. Please hear me, and hear me if you are patriots. And this is Keegan. Well, I do not think Osama was paid anything. I think.
Oh, you
And
don't know.
let's stop this. Let,
Down.
but I will say
Be
something.
humble.
There is the come to Jesus moment.
Uh. Uh, I didn't see that one coming. I swear, I swear. That's why I laughed. I'm not laughing that he's not a hero. I'm laughing that I didn't see that coming. Caught me by surprise, bro. You could have said anything else. Kwanzaa, you took that long pause. He is a hero.
No
Well,
problem. We are also aware that long
who is
pauses.
we, bro? Talk for yourself.
We are also aware that long pauses were our downfall in yesterday's space. That I will also tell you. We are aware. Long pauses
You
were.
guys from Shags have become a nuisance.
Mhm. So are you done or are you finished?
No, I'm just thinking right now. I can't believe that we've allowed ourselves to be dominated by you guys from Shags.
At the end of the day,
You said that the politics needs to be local. I swear I agree with you. How are you guys coming from Shags to talk to us in Nairobi? Don't make no motherfucking sense. Go talk to your people in the village. What do you think, Keegan?
I think we have had you.
Who's we, bro?
We have had you. And I think we shall.
Ah, Keegan, you're not being any fun.
No,
I
no,
like
no.
you when you take an effing shot.
We'll
Haujakunywa
distill some
kakitu leo?
sense. No, we'll distill some sense. No problem. Thank you. And Kibe, you're doing a good job. Thank you so much.
No, you guys on this good job of yours, good job. Go pat yourself in the back, no, not me, bro. Thank you, Keegan.
End it.
Say
End it.
hi
End
to
it.
our comrades. Comrades. Which coming with. Mkenya daima.
Okay, let me jump in quick. This one is a quick one, but yes, traitors amongst us. Yeah, that's a conversation that we've already had, and we are not. Of course, me, I'm going to blame people. I'm going to call out names, and then one else who is purporting otherwise. Kama Kigen akituambia no one was paid. I don't know the amount that Kigen was paid. I was not on the that Osama was paid. I was not on that table, but I can listen to other people who said they were approached and they were offered something and they refused. I can at least believe those. So it means there was money that was going around.
Kigen, don't unmute your mic. Right now it's
okay.
Mkenya who's talking. Huh?
Okay. Oh, sorry, bro.
Just mute your mic. Just maintain your shut up. Mkenya, go ahead.
So when I say numbers and names, Cyprian Nyakundi wrote a tweet saying he was approached. Americ said he was approached. That is what is in the public domain. So this thing of telling us, you can be held accountable. Guys, fuck you. You get me? I don't know why sometimes people are just afraid. When you think what's the worst that can happen? Dying? People have died, Rex have died, and everyone has died. So this idea of saying you can be held accountable to an extent that you can't speak the truth when your country is going to the dogs, then that's stupidity. You get? I know there are people who are saying whatever happened to Osama, that was an opportunity. It was no. That was not an opportunity. You get? It's because it's cutting deals with blood, and it always ends with blood. So kitu ingine akututishia kutuambia, you can be held accountable. What? Now what is going to happen to me? Going to commit, die, or anything? Because I said Osama was paid. Osama was paid. That I mean, and it's clear. Kina Hanifa were paid. It's also clear. You get? When you are taking yourself, unajua kuna vitu ukifanya tunaanza kuadd 1+1. You get? We don't know the figure, but mimi nikisema ndasema because of this and this. Naona this thing is not adding up. Unasema ulikuwa abducted and everything. All these things are not adding up. Hatuku kutoa police station. There is not even an ongoing case. But that's not the role. The conversation should be when we said the movement was leaderless, and it is leaderless. This is what we are trying to say. When you assume a role, just because it's leaderless doesn't mean it doesn't have structures that are moving. There were people who are volunteering to host spaces. If you are Kibe and you start being part of the movement, now we're host space, and you are hosting space on the matters of the movement and everything. When we entrust you with that, just do it well. We'll counter check you. When Kibe was being lambistic and everything, people are like, hey Kibe, no, you are not part of it. Whatever you are saying, and it was counter checked. Whether he came back on in line and he come back. So and if I collect though, to me if you buy and everything, it's not that he's a leader of anything. You get, but he has taken a role. So it's the same thing that happened with Osama. People trusted with Osama, with Austin. They were hosting spaces among other people, whereby people felt like we could have a conversation here. See, that Osama was a leader of anyone. Why do people feel betrayed? Yes, people feel betrayed because all these people were being on your spaces. People are, you built your brand on this. Then when you wake up and do something else, that's when you are being called a traitor. So it makes a lot of sense people to be called traitors. It makes a lot of sense watu kusalimiwa kwa streets wakipatana na wao. That makes a lot of sense. If you meet Osama, you tell him fuck you, makes a lot of sense. Ukipatana naye uamue kumpiga, that's up to you. Me, I wouldn't advise vitu ka violence on anyone. You get, if you know where he lives and you decide to do harm on him, but I would understand the pain of the people. I would really understand the pain of the people because people entrusted you with that. That's what we are pushing. The next course of action, I would say, is keep reorganizing, keep restructuring, have just a clear communication, and let it remain leaderless as it is. But when you assume a role, come out the way the medics and assumed the role of helping people. You get, if they started doing shitty work, they could be checked. So the issue of consensus is good because when you have that consensus, hakuna mtu mmoja anapewa too much power to think that they can be dictatorial in making decision. So that it is important that we have consensus venye tumekuwa nayo. But hii kitu ingine, and ukiona mtu kama Kigen akiongea, I totally understand Kigen because see, William Ruto will say anything. I'm telling you, even if William Ruto said, Kigen, kuja nilambe my ass, I swear this guy would take his knee, whether that ass is wiped or not, he will lamp it with his soul. You get, he is to those levels. So, I mean, I totally understand his stand, and it's not wrong. It's not wrong to take that stand, Nini. It's not wrong. But again, if Nini, don't usikuje kutuambia now, usikuje kutuuzia woga and everything. And Kibe, you said, how to waocha, I don't know it to get to those points. Anyway, hata pia mimi waocha ningekuaje naongea kwa hizi spaces, but we are going to continue reorganizing, and the next course of action, clear communication, I believe it will be there. Whether it will come from whoever person, clear communication will be there, and no one, people are not going to relent just because that Ruto had a space. No, until we get to a point whereby Ruto has started taking action. Ruto has just been talking. Kila kitu within 10 days. He has not taken any action. When Ruto starts taking action is when people can, when I say, no, he is taking action, I think we can have a conversation going way forward, because there are demands that were made and the obvious demands that have not been met. If he gets to a point whereby he meets those demands, then we can have a conversation on the way forward. What else do we need? Akuja itane kwa space, aseme now, you asked for me to remove this, I removed. You asked for me to remove this, I removed. You asked for me. Now, how do you want us to proceed next? That's when we can have a conversation. Right now, we can't have a conversation with Ruto until he takes action. And mass action, mass protest will continue happening. Whether Osama is in it or he is not in it. That one is one thing I believe in. Thank you.
You know,
hold up, Kigen. I saw Dani. I saw Kenya's. What are they called? Kenya's. What are they called? Cougar. Like, I saw her running to come here. So let's give the Cougar a second. Mariam.
Hey, Kibe, wacha roho mbaya please, eh? Hiyo ni roho chafu
Cougar
sana.
Nation. Hey, Cougar ametoka mbali. Hey, your phone must be very hot the way you came running. God damn. Go ahead, Mariam.
Sitaki kutoa Mkenya kwa game yake, lakini Mkenya, how are you?
Mariam, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Now, I do have a quick question for you. And by the way, I do admire your resilience. I've seen you're very consistent in this movement. But my question is, apart from the Ruto must go hashtag, do you have a clear list of demands or things that you need the president to meet? And how do you plan to deliver these demands to him? Mkenya, umenisikia? Sorry, Kibe, am I audible?
Yeah, I think
absolutely.
Sia ndio ako na simu. So I think we give him.
No. Okay. I heard you. And apart from Ruto must go, and I will insist on this. Even when I said Ruto must go, I have always been pushing it for Ruto must go, and Ruto must go to fix the nation. That is one thing that I've been insisting on. If Ruto must go, we are having a conversation that is making Ruto uncomfortable for Ruto to act. Saying occupy parliament, it is not going to make Ruto to reconstitute the IBC. Saying occupy everywhere is not going to make Ruto. We were looking for that conversation. We were looking for that action that would make Ruto to go and fix the nation. So every time when I say Ruto must go, my chant is Ruto must go and fix the nation. It's not that we don't know our problem. The good thing is when we say Ruto must go, there are people who want to translate it. Let me move to the next. When do we have start listing the problems that we have as Kenyans? I'm not talking to people who've landed from the mass. Those are people. You are people who know that our IBC has not been reconstituted. That one we know. We are people who know that we have. Ya Rigathi, bibi ya Rigathi, ya bibi ya nani. You see, these are problems that we have at hand. You get, and that's why I'm saying when we are saying When I say Ruto must go, I don't say Ruto must go as just to shatter the president. No. Ruto, wake up. We are having a conversation that can make Ruto uncomfortable to go and act. Tell me, for Christ's sake, how is Linturi in the despite all the corruption?
Kenya. Umengembaka Linturi, bro. You guys have reduced yourself to discussing personality.
Okay, a quick one. Like, just sorry if that's how it might have looked like, but the whole idea is when the list is there, our problems, we know them as Kenyans. So, asking whether there is a clear list, clearly, Mariam, I'm sure you are a Kenyan. You know that.
First, just mute your mic. There's a lot of feedback. I don't know what you've done with your phone, but you guys are missing the point. You guys are going with a list. The list never ends. The list is endless. There's no list. There's no fix. You guys are looking to fix ati mko na list ya 10 things mwende mfix alafu sasa mrudi tena muishika Gen Z. Aje. The list is endless. What you need is decision making ability. That when you make a decision, there's some power behind that decision. That's why I'm telling you this lost constituency should not be asking for things to be fixed. Should be in there fixing things. Get the difference. So don't take a list to Ruto, tell him go fix this. No, you tell him, hey, we've realized that this and this and this you cannot fix. So we've taken it upon ourselves to fix this. Are you getting the difference, Mkenya? Because you want to go with a list to him. If you go with a list to him, you are his bitch.
And please, Andrew, if you can allow me, I will now join.
You motherfucker.
I will now join.
I will now. If you can allow me, what do you mean? You're already talking.
I will now join with the official account.
Shut the fuck up. Mute your mic.
No, and
mute
let
your
me
mic
tell you
until
something.
you know how to speak.
We will respect each other, and you will respect.
You will shut the fuck up until you know how to speak in this. Bringing that useless political speak. If you can allow me, fuck you. I can't allow you shit. That's not how we speak here. Go speak that way in your fundraisings in Shags, where you guys take 16 minutes to introduce each other. All protocols observed. Fuck off. We don't have time to waste here with these stupid introductions of get to the fucking point. If you have something to say, you say it. Don't prepare us. With your permission, sir. Fuck you with your permission. Now go ahead. What did you want to say, Kike?
I'm sorry if I offended you in any way.
There we go.
Andrew, I think you're doing a good job because
what are you discussing again right now? What are you discussing? The discussion?
Yeah, I think the agenda is agenda.
Well, yeah, we don't have time for that. If you're here to discuss the discussion,
Kibe, can I say something?
Yeah, this guy is bullshit. James, help this bullshit fellow here.
Kibe, can I say something?
Go ahead, man. You have my permission. Keegan, mute your mic.
Yo. So I'm saying the biggest problem we have is opportunists who jumped on this Gen Z movement. Some of our celebrities actually didn't know what this was about, and some of the big wigs didn't know what this was about. They were in it for clout. Some wanted to reach out to more audience, and some of them didn't really feel it from the heart. It was not driven from the heart. So they were looking for an opportunity to reach more people, more audience, and to try and salvage their names. Like asisemekane haku support. So the real revolutionaries were Gen Z, do not even have huge following on social media, either on TikTok, on Twitter, or on Facebook. They are unheard. Some of them are not even on social media. They've been fighting outside social media. When the opportunity presented itself ya watu kwenda streets, obviously propagated na the big accounts, they hit the streets. Wao ndo walikuwa hit the hardest. Wao ndo wamekula maji ya cannons. Wao ndo wamekula tear gas proper. Wao ndo walikuwa na return tear gas. Wao ndo wamekufa. Wao ndo walivunja wakaingia parliament. Sitaki kusema I'm among them, but I am. Like, it has been hijacked
Tuliwasalimia na
by some
tutawasalimia
fellows.
tena.
Adi? Anybody said something?
Keegan, if you unmute your mic one more time, I'm going to kick you out. As much as I do like your
But the
submissions.
fact is, Kigen, and fact, any young person who's in government right now who's trying to undermine and bring us down for fighting for a better Kenya. Hata wao wataenjoy mayouth wenye wako kwa gava sahii wanajaribu kubring mayouth wengine down for fighting for the better for all of us. After all, kwani gava imeemploy mayouth wangapi? Mayouth kidogo sana. Sasa mbona mtu akuwe tu na
Today is not that space for complaining. Hatujakama hapa complain leo. We're not here to complain. After mulipigwa dafrau mincemeat jana, we're not here to complain. We're here to be proactive. Ndio sasa sisi tukwe ndio tunapigana dafrau. They will be holding spaces about us, not the other way around. Tuhamwe. Mariam, before we go to quiet opinion, what's up?
Yeah, I wanted to actually pick Mukenya's brains on what you've been talking about the whole morning. That the problem is that that there's a section of people that is not represented. So Mukenya, do you think that there's a representation issue when it comes to the way the government is being run? And in this case, Andrew is talking about the urban people.
And you know what, Mariam? Mariam, unmute yourself. I want to have this.
Yes, I'm listening.
So you see, Sia is the one I'm talking about. Mukenya is from Shags. Sia is the one who is unrepresented. Mukenya has Charity Ngilu and Mulu Mutisia and all those are rubbish people from Shags. Yeah. But Sia has nobody. Sia looks into parliament and she sees no peoples.
Asha, I would really like to hear Mukenya's view on this because for me, what I think is a person who goes into parliament to represent people should be well-rounded enough to know the needs of people who are from the slums and guys who are from the middle class.
No, Mariam, which school did you go to, Mariam?
No, really, that's why I'm saying a person who's well-rounded. That's why.
No, why be well-rounded? You are supposed to be a representative of the people that you are going to parliament for. Simple as that. You are amongst them.
Let me support my point. There are some needs that are just that cut across the board. Sindio, like sanitary needs, like security. No.
I think those are standard across the world. So there's no telling me that makes any difference. We're talking about if you're going to represent Langata, you must be somebody who comes from Langata. You cannot come from outside with these universal needs.
So kindly, yes, I would like you to tell me, and it's good that you use the Langata example. So I want you to tell me, the difference between the needs of a person who's in Kibera and a person who's in Langata. So Langata, you know which area I'm talking about in this case. So I want you to tell me the common needs that they have and then the separate needs that they have and why you think one person can't represent both needs.
Because you don't know what the needs are. You see, from outside, you think you know what the needs. Like now, Mr. Beast came into the country, dug 56 boreholes. Did those people need those boreholes? Of course not. They don't need them because if they needed them, they would already have them. Whatever they need, they have already sorted. Same thing with Kibera, same thing with Langata. So whatever it is that those people need are known by the people who live there. So when you're coming with solutions, like now, look at all the solutions that people from NHC have tried to be given. Yeah, they're trying to be, sink boreholes and do all this shit, and they never get a solution because these are outsiders. How can you solve a problem of a people that you don't know? That's why the representation has to be extremely local. Somebody cannot come from outside to represent you. How? How does that make any sense?
But Kibe, I've asked you a very specific question. I need you to tell me. Now, let's use the good example of Kibera and Langata. So tell me the common needs that they have and then the very separate needs that they have that makes you believe that one person can't represent both groups of people. Just give us really specific needs.
You see that now I wouldn't know the needs of the people in Kibera because I've never lived in the slum. So I wouldn't know their needs. But I cannot pretend also to know what their needs are just by looking at them saying, oh, maybe they need water. That's why we take to them unga every 2 kgs once a year, because we think that's what they need. Because for us, when we look at them, we think they are hungry. So we keep giving them. We don't. Every time we go to them, we're giving them bullshit things.
Okay,
But
then.
our needs are going to be sorted out by us. We cannot have somebody from outside sorting out our needs because you might accelerate the problem or the
I wanted
growth.
to get a bit personal, Kibe. I wanted to get personal because you have run for a seat and you are going to represent both the Kibera guys and the Langata guys.
Yes.
True?
Yes.
So what were you going to represent when it came to Kibera guys? Because you were running for that seat at that time.
In fact, let me tell you, the only campaign that you do on the side of Kibera, because nobody in Langata has time to come to you to listen to you. So you go to the Kibera guys to get the vote, and you pretend for that 1 minute that you know what their needs are. So it's either you give them 50 bob or 200 or 2 kgs of rice, or whatever it is you're giving. Right? What you're doing is you're buying their time. So this game is known. That's why this game is a game of chums. So so what you didn't understand, Mariam, is all the neighborhoods in Nairobi are surrounded by slums who decide the leadership of those neighborhoods. And those slums came about because of the houses, not the other way around. So the slums have come, and the slums are people from shags. People of Nairobi do not live in the slums. So now the people of shags are the ones who are deciding the politics of this country. That's why when you look into parliament right now, all those people are from shags. So how can these people know what is going on with Nairobi? That's why Nairobi keeps getting shit and shit and shit every day. Because these people who are coming from shags are not coming to fix Nairobi. They are coming to live in Hollywood. In their head, Nairobi is already the best possible place. When they go to Eldoret, they look at Eldoret, oh, they are drooling. Oh, Eldoret is the best possible place. And they go open up these big monster businesses. They will not let Eldoret grow the way it's supposed to grow. They will not let Mombasa grow the way it's supposed to grow because the people of Mombasa are the ones who know how it's supposed to grow. But these foreigners are coming in and they're given this big pot that is the government treasury. And they can come in and fix and spoil economies around the country. And the man from the flats is being screwed every day. And now he's been made a slave to the people of shags. Now we are slaves to people like Sudi. Imagine me having to kiss ass to Sudi so they can give me a few millions for Africa. Imagine that. Just imagine that. Imagine bringing yourself down to listening to these people. Some of them you're wondering, what the fuck are you saying? We have known this. We are not represented. None of these people represent us. Shit, I've gone on for long. Quiet,
No,
opinionated.
Kibe, you're running away still. You're running away. I really am asking you to tell me, as a person who ran for MP seat in Langata, tell me which unique needs these are that the people from Langata have that you think Kibera doesn't share with them. I only just need that. And you see, even as you're going
now,
to...
now, let me tell you. So I wouldn't know about Kibera, but I know the one need that Langata has is something like cleanliness. It's cleanliness, just general cleanliness. Things that the county government should be able to offer, right? So with proper coordination, you clean up Langata, put up street lighting, because Langata people are upgrading people. They want to upgrade to the next level, It's a it's a transitional place right now, where people moving from Eastlands, their first stop will be Langata, and then now they move to Kileleshwa, and then eventually Karen. So it needs to look the way a transitional place should look like. So the needs in Langata are very different from the needs in Kibera. The people in Langata are all, they know what they want. These are probably people who are third, fourth generation. The flats are the ones which are bringing the transitional people. So this hybrid group of people, all they would want is cleanliness, lighting, so that they can do that jogging they do every morning with their tight spandex, run all over the place, showing their big diabs. Yeah, they just want very standard things like internet should be there, safety when they are being delivered their pizza, Terrific Tuesday. Simple things, because they know how to make their own money. Now, when you go to Kibera is another place altogether. So you cannot actually compare these two and say, oh, we're going to give. No. Those are two different animals. When you go to Kibera, you need to look for someone who has lived in Kibera. Like that guy who's be called Okoth. There's nobody who ever did more for Kibera than Okoth. You guys remember him, the guy who died? There's nobody who did more for Kibera than that guy, because he was a guy who came from the inside. He knew where the problems were. But we cannot continue having foreigners running the biggest constituencies in this country. It's impossible. It's impossible, because you will never know what these people are going through. That's why a place like Embakasi will never be clean, because those will not be homegrown solutions. The only sustainable solutions are the...
Thank you so much for this chance to speak. Nimekuwa nikisikiza discussions, very good discussions happening. Mimi, all I have to say is I think we talk. Where is the action? You know? Like, I feel like we keep meeting here and it's good and we talk and it's great.
Can I say something?
I'm still not done, but okay.
Someone is speaking. You may want to drop and come back, Stephen, if you can't hear her.
Quiet, opinionated. Just go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So what I'm suggesting is pia sisi kwa wenyewe we can get into groups, because it's clear that we are all fed up with this bad leadership. Like si wanatubeba ufala, ni sisi tunawalipa salaries, wanajiongezea salaries. Like, this is stupidity. We can shut down this whole fucking thing if we decided to do it. But we can't do that when we're not playing the political game. Like, sisi wenyewe tuko hapa venye Kibe anasema, like, we need to come up ourselves with our voices. We also need to vie for these positions, because those leaders that we're looking for, those non-corrupt leaders, watatoka hapo kwenye hizi discussions zenye tunakuwa nazo sahi, even those people that we are calling traitors and everything, maybe they
No,
just
no, no, no.
they just
I
played the
think that is
political.
wrong because there is someone who did chat GDP.
Hello, sorry, there's someone who's talking. I'm not sure what's happening, but yeah, so what we need to be proactive, you know, we need to start having solutions. Kama wale watu walikuwa wanaongelelea kuhusu story ya kuhack, you know, we are all intelligent people. Most of us, we don't have jobs. How are we using our skills to bring down this government? Because to be very honest, taking it to the streets, it's not gonna work anymore. We need to do something. We need to do something radical. We need to beat them at their own game, because shida ya Ruto ni anajiona yeye ni mjanja sana, but he doesn't know that he's dealing with a new breed of human beings that he has never dealt with before. But if we keep wasting time tukisema sijui ule ni traitor, sijui amelipwa, kama mtu anataka kulipwa shauri yake, the movement is bigger than these people. The movement is bigger sijui kuliko sijui Otero, sijui Cairo, sijui nani, all those people that have been called traitors. We can't waste time just talking over and over and yes, hata mimi niko na hasira sana. Kwanza huyo Hanifa, I sent money there and then nasikia hapa story ati watu walikula pesa. It is very painful. But to keep the movement going, we have to not dwell. We have to keep persisting. We have to think outside the box. Mimi niko sure out of all the 2,000 people wenye wako hapa sahi kwa hii space, we all have skills. Tumekuungana hapa kwa sababu tumekasirika because of lack of employment. How are we using our knowledge and skills to combat this government? Because hata tukiandikia Ruto list 100, hizo list hakuna kitu zitaifanyika. Ukiangalia watu wameweka kwa cabinet, very incompetent people, nepotism too. No offense to anyone from that particular tribe. I'm not saying everyone is dumb. I'm just saying the specific people who've been put in certain offices in the government, they do not have the skills that it takes to do the budgeting and the planning that it needs ndio tukue kwenye sisi tunataka kujiona as a nation. That is why tuko na corruption left, right and center, because these people don't even have any financial. You know, this is what we need to do. Na tusianze kusema ati sasa we don't ati sijui leaders sijui nini. We should, even those people who are taking up a leadership position even in these spaces, we should find means of holding them accountable, in a sense that if they are chosen to speak on our behalf, we can know that hata akilipwa, hata akikuwa sell out, we can catch him. You know, we should have such measures.
Quite opinionated.
Yes.
Aren't you doing the same thing?
What do you mean the same thing?
Where you're saying what we should do, because that.
But we can't always just talk. Good, because it has gotten us here. But I'm saying moving forward, we need to do more than just talking. You know?
So what should we do?
We need to form groups within ourselves. Come out on skills.
So how do okay.
Like me, for example, I am a social worker. I have everything. So what I'm thinking is we can form certain groups or organizations, if you'd like to call them, where people come together and they bring their skills together, and we go deep into the law. For example, we see how we can utilize the Constitution of Kenya to bring these people down. How we can just getting together.
So
and
I get the idea. I get the idea. Where's the action behind the idea?
So that's what we need to think about. We need to think about those things
No. You said
time.
you're tired of talking. You said you're tired of talking.
Yes. Aren't you
Where's
tired of
the
talking,
action
Kibe?
behind the idea? Who is coming with the action?
Sisi wenye tuko hapa kwa hii space.
No, because this is your idea.
Well, look, me personally, I can only speak on the side of things that I know. All right?
So that's what I'm trying to tell you, and you're not listening to what I'm saying. It's because everybody wants to be in the same position where you are, where you just talk. But when you pressed a bit, then you crumble because you don't want to put any action behind your idea. How can we all have ideas and nobody wants to put any action behind it? How is this going to work?
Well, we need to come up with ideas. We need to start thinking along those lines. That's what I'm saying.
No, I'm asking you as quite, quite opinionated. I'm asking you, where is the action behind your idea? Because we have so many people giving
Okay.
ideas and nobody's putting any action behind it.
All right, nimekupata sasa. So for one, kama sahihi venye tuko hapa, we can form a group. You see, we can form a group kuanzia hapa. Kwa sasa tumekutana hapa tumeongea for 2 hours alafu
I want you to quite opinionated. Let's do this so that we can move it along, okay?
Mhm.
I want you to tomorrow when I open the space,
Mhm.
you come up and say, hey, listen, for me, this is what I did. This is my part. I have played this part from yesterday. I have done this. Because if we're going to have people who talk and have no action behind it, then this movement is dead.
Exactly. You see, exactly.
Yeah, so we cannot be all talkers. There has to be people who action. So today I'm tasking you right now to be one of those people who action. That next time you come and say, hey, listen, this has been my action. This is what I did.
Okay, sawa. Mimi, I will do that assignment and I will come up with some of these ideas because I think it is good to vent out, yes, but tutavent mpaka lini? The more we vent,
Very good.
yeah, we are not doing anything, to be honest. We're just venting, we're venting. The more we are venting, the more Ruto is strategizing his political game.
Because I don't want to hear any ideas, because ideas mean nothing unless somebody puts some action behind that idea. So even a good idea, bad idea, just put some action behind it. Let's make mistakes as we go, but let's have people who are all working towards being action oriented. Ikuongea tutaongea mpaka tuchoke.
Exactly.
Daily.
Yeah, so and maybe it's not just an assignment to me. Maybe it should be an assignment to all of us. Fine, host space is a really good step, but we need to keep the momentum going even beyond this space. We need to we have to still think about, because me kusema tu kweli wa Mungu, sometimes natokanga kwa hii space and as soon as I'm done I forget, like I go on about my day until hizi vitu zote za mauongo za Ruto zinakama up tena unakasirika unarudi hapa kwa space. But sasa we have to keep the momentum 24/7, my guys. 24/7. Kama ni mahackers mna hack kwa hizo ma systems hiyo government zina collapse. Kama ni hao watu wa IT hao, action. Thank you.
Thank you, quite opinionated. Appreciate that. Laura, are you here?
Good afternoon, I'm here.
I see you, Keegan. Keegan is trying to come back here. Keegan, if I'm going to bring you back, you cannot be misbehaving and muting yourself. So let me know. If you're going to unmute yourself, I'm not going to bring you back.
Thanks for this session. Now, people are having very great ideas, and I like the way the conversation was going on until some point where some people just think they can come here and install on. And now we should stay on the focus that whatever it is we want to achieve. As I've been saying over and over again, Ruto is not a nice person. Wherever he is now, he is planning for the next and for the next and for the next. I've been in the media space, I've been in the communication space for a very, very long time. And then what I know now, these 2 years that Ruto has been president, I know he has accumulated enough money to make sure, even if a snap election is called today, he will rig himself back in. So the only thing we can do now is the numbers that the Gen Zs and the millennials have, and the children that are going to get out of school for the next 2. I know it's a long time. 3 years is a long time to wait for somebody like that to keep on leading us. But if all the things that people are trying to do not work, there is one thing that will work. As hard as it may be, it is not, we can't see it now, but some of these things, you see it uko mbele. The formation of a political outfit is inevitable. Utaongea kama uko wapi. It is inevitable. And the sooner we start getting these things, Wanjiro spoke very well. We conceptualize how is it going to happen? How are we going to do it? It is not going to have it. It will take a very, very long time. If there are spaces where people are already starting to do that, if it is something you think is making sense to you, you join and you be part of the conversation. But we cannot, I don't think we can do this without a political formation. When we have a political formation, I'm telling you, Ruto hatalala, because from the days of YK92, alikuwa tu anajua vile yeye aliingia na vile alianza. So long as we are still talking here, venting, tunakasirishana, nini, anajua, I'm still safe. Bado ndawaita, nitawaongelesha, nitawapanga, and things will go on. But when he will wake up is when he will say, look, these people wamechukua kura. Wamechukua ID, wamechukua kura. They are ready to go with the next thing that is going to serve them. That is when he will even blink and do those finance bill things he said and everything. Hizo vitu alisema ni uongo. Vitakuwa too low kama tumekaa hapa tunaangalia. And there is nothing, I can imagine there is nothing we are going to do. So if he knows there is a formation, if he knows people are talking towards a formation, an organized one, tutakuwa na challenges, a lot of it here and there, financial, organizational, social, even spiritual, and all those many things. But when he knows that these people are serious, they are taking the vote. Yes, they are taking they have their ideas, they're taking the vote. They are talking of something that is going to disrupt what he has fixed. I think this is where now he'll even serve us the remaining time that we have. Otherwise, atatuangalia tu hivi, anaita watu hizo sessions zake, he pays the people that he wants to pay, and we'll still be in the shithole that we are. But me, I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful that this conversation is going on, even that we are talking about this, apart from people like Keegan who think that they can come here and just start telling us anarchy, anarchy, anarchy. We know what anarchy is, and we know what we want. We don't want anarchy. We want some sort of organization. So let's keep talking, let's keep organizing ourselves, and we should get there. Let's keep this conversation going. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. Ali, it's been a minute since I talked to you, man. How are you?
Hey, Kibe, I'm good. I'm good. And how have you been?
Chilling.
I can see you've been very. Everything is fine. You know, there's a say here we have in the work. You've been very active on these tutors of late, on this movement. You've been 50-50, Mara Okoko Gen Z, you've chucked them out because of the Kinamiguna. Which side are you, Kibe?
I didn't know there were sides.
Because people have been taking sides. We've been keep on accusing one another. People have been having different opinions.
What happened to the
We are not
basic
united.
truth? Like, what do we stand for as men? What happened to that?
But Kibe, the truth lies differently from different people. There's your truth, there's somebody else's truth, and then there's the real truth. And that's where we are all lacking. We don't know where we are heading. Because if everybody has an opinion,
as long as you're good, then what's the problem, my guy? Why does it have to be so binary? Like, where do you lie? Do you lie with these guys or do you lie with these guys? Because it's all relative, depending on when you're asking me.
But Kibe, a movement has to have the simple same ideology. We have to have the same ideas. We have to agree on certain ways for anything to win. Because
the movement,
you cannot go.
The movement was reject finance bill. Okay. Now the movement started with Amerix.
The agenda is only one.
So so the agenda was reject finance bill. So Amerix started that shit, and then he pushed it along, and it got motto. So the next agenda, where has it come from?
Because people started losing focus.
Isn't that why you're asking me where do I stand? Because there's a new agenda that nobody seems to know, yet everybody's being asked, where do you stand? I'm like, hey, we rejected the finance bill. That's where we were. Where is this new agenda coming from?
The agenda is coming in when you don't have a leader, you don't have hamuna mwelekeo. Everybody wants to be seen. Now people are looking for position. I even said the same thing the other put together, then you form a system. All of us can be able to have the same goal. Being paid the first space you hosted. Weren't you accused of that, Kibe? So it's the same script which is being done to now Osama. Maybe Osama was not paid. Maybe he just got that chance to host the president, and everybody jealous. So what's the best thing? Let's accuse Osama as being paid. That's the best thing we Kenya, we Africans know, is to put one another down. That's why we can never go anywhere.
The discussion today, Ali. Ali, you're watering down our discussion, bro.
No,
because
I'm
now,
just saying
who the
what is
fuck
happening.
is Osama that we're going to sit here and discuss Osama? Man, what's wrong with you, Ali?
That's the topic going
I
on.
told
Why did
you
Osama host the president?
I am not going to be focusing my energy on Shags people anymore, because these Shags people are the ones we've allowed to lead us, and we cannot be led by Shags people. That's why right now we're discussing Osama. Which person from Nairobi looks like Osama?
Nobody.
Exactly. Osama doesn't go to the places we go. He doesn't hang out with the places we hang out. So I'm talking. I am talking for a non-represented constituency. You're taking me to Osama and Kimuzi and here Ali that is not just forgotten and represented.
Yes, I understand. We need representation, and Kibe, we've seen the representation which have been coming up and up. We've seen guys who have come up with
we don't
high
know
hopes.
that we didn't know that we needed representation. We didn't know that.
What did he do when he went there? He was swapped in with the system. So whatever representations we are going to have there, at the end of the day, there's a bigger wolves who is going to swallow them there. Either they work with the system or they get swallowed. So we cannot talk about representation if we don't change the system, Kibe. If the system remains the same.
You see, the system is not the problem. The system is not the problem. Okay?
Kibe, the system is the problem. Keep the system is the problem.
System is not the problem. These guys are running because the system was made for us. The system wasn't made for guys coming from Shags to take up the system. The system was made for us. That's why we don't have that must win kind of mentality. Because these things to Meziona.
Go to politics.
South B, Langata.
Yes, now that's what I'm saying. People don't go to politics to better the life of their followers.
No,
they go to better the life of
now that is what we are saying. Now, Mimi, has been my rallying call the whole day, is that we do not have representation in government anywhere. That's why these guys are playing this game. Sasa unaangalia mtu kaa Sudi, umefanya kazi Nairobi miaka 30, huwezi afford kubuy hiyo gari because unajua vile tunaishi Nairobi. Huyu mzee ametoka Ocha, ameingia Nairobi, akapewa kifungu ya chama, akaambiwa enda hapo utoe do. Huyu mzee atakuokota na do yako ile wewe unachanga, na wewe ndio unachanga, unajua watu wa Ocha wachangi.
You see, now the lucrative part is what is enticing people to go to politics. If we stop that lucrative way, they say that whoever goes there, he doesn't do business. He's working.
You see now you're going to the nitty-gritty. Well, nitty-gritty. That's an nitty-gritty.
Only to take forward in the neighborhood.
Who are you telling?
This guy is talking big.
Ali,
But
Ali.
I'm talking of the voters, because at the end of the day, the voters are the ones who are suffering.
Mariam, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Kibe, but Ali
Yes,
is
I can hear
breaking.
you.
Ali,
So my question to Ali is, who are you
Can you
telling?
hear me now? I'm talking of the people who are fighting for their rights now. The ones who are complaining that they want better life. They want the people who are sitting on the seat to move out. But trust you me, if the same people go back to that system, they'll transform to be exactly the same people we are having now. That's what I'm talking
We
of the system.
don't
If the
have
system doesn't change,
evidence of that. Okay?
but Kibe, we've
We
had the
don't
evidence.
have
We've seen
evidence. Bro,
Kinachidi,
since
who are Makanga.
1963, we've not had anybody from the flats representing the people.
But Kibe, we had like somebody like Sonko,
Sonko is not from the
who
flats.
was okay. He was
Sonko is a regular thug.
okay.
Uli
Sakaja,
Makanga.
you say Sakaja. You saying Sakaja? You say
Uli Makanga. Makanga tunaongea naye nini?
nani Sakaja?
So, wote Sakaja ametoka
Chama ya
Eastlands.
Uhuru.
Wewe, Sakaja ametoka Eastlands.
But he came from town. Ametoka Nairobi. At least
Sakaja
he's not
ametoka
from town.
Eastlands. Sakaja ametoka wale must win. Sakaja is a must win.
But now, what happened to them? Because they were polite, they were humble, they
Because
had good ideas.
these are thugs who got these seats. So the people who are supposed to be sitting in these seats are not. Okay, let me put it to you this way. Let me just talk about Nairobi. All the MPs in Nairobi are not from Nairobi.
Okay, I get you.
How?
So who are they representing?
Exactly. So the people who
wait,
from Nairobi.
can I respond to Kibe? Why they're not from Nairobi?
Mm.
Kibe, you've been on the campaign trail. You know that it needs a lot of work and it sometimes gets dirty. I think the people from the urban area don't want to get their hands dirty. They're too cool to go to the ground. That's why these guys from Shags, they come with that zeal. Iyo morali hawajali juu ya what they have to do to get that seat. And they're willing to go kwa ground, kufanya the dirty work. And that's why they get the seats. And that's why even the people who have the money invest in them because they want people who will do the footwork.
But you don't understand the way Nairobi is set up to be run by Shags people. That's the thing. Nairobi is set up to be run by Shags people. If the people of the estate were to vote for the person they want, it would be a very different person from the person the people of the ghetto are voting in. Did you know that?
I do, but you need to, and it's something that you've talked about before, Kibe. So let's say the Langata constituency is mixed with the Kibera. So if we got you a cool kid from the flats to run for MP in that constituency, the reason why you're going to fail miserably is because you don't want to go to Kibera where they have a bigger percentage of the voters
No,
to do the
because
groundwork.
Kibera,
And then
because Kibera, and there's no language to communicate to them.
Kibe. Then I wanted
There's
to
no
go
language
to this.
because what language are you going to communicate to people who think you are coming from a superior place, or you who think you're coming from an elevated position, looking down on about people? What language is there? Si language ya kuangalia do.
But hiyo ni makosa yako. Inafaa wewe mtoto cool kid, inafaa ujue kukua well-rounded.
Why would I struggle to represent people that I don't have a language with? They have their own representation. They have their own person. Their own person who's climbed the ladder and got to the top of that kind of society. But always toka kutoka nje ukamu jaribu kurepresent watu. How can Nubians be led by somebody who's not a Nubian? How is he going to communicate to them?
But Kibe, we saw Korir. Korir came from nowhere and Korir captured the
Korir
seat
came
in
from
Langata.
Shags.
But he did nothing for Langata people.
Exactly, just the same
Korir
thing that
concentrated on the slum dwellers by doing
that
shanties.
Olum did, same thing that Jalans will do. They will do nothing for the Langata people. All they do is concentrate on giving handouts to people in the ghetto. Kweli uongo.
That's true.
Nama
To vote for that election, for that ballot. Do we really know what?
so
Because we keep on complaining of the same leaders. We keep on doing the same thing, repeat time and time and again. These leaders are not for us. These look for us. At the end of the day, it is us who are losing because we don't get the representation we really need. We are always shortchanged by the guys we thought they are for us.
yeah, because they were never for us. They were never for us. Someone like Olum ran for Langata, won. You know Olum, remember Olum?
Yes, I remember Olum very well.
Olum. But I know where you stay. You know, if there are any issues, I can come to you directly. This representation is not superstardom representation that now we have created for. Representation has to be very local. It has to be somebody who lives in the hood. How can you be brought for chama wa block
They divided
Nairobi
the country.
cannot, the people who,
They
listen to this
wanted
point, the
Kibe.
people the people who are the money
You
in
see, the
Nairobi
representation.
do not choose their governor. How does that make sense? Hold up, Ali. I think
But you see
there's
now,
a big problem with your connection. Ngoja, Ali, ngoja. Fix your line first. I'm
Oh,
having such a lag.
and Kibe, I don't know whether you're having a challenge with approving.
Hey, I have so many requests right now. So many. And if I had like a 20-year-old damsel in distress.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. Let me say hello to the people I know here on the board. Mariam, Sultan, McKenna. I hope you guys are good. So first of all, tuanze tu na the fact that we've spoken for so long. That's the first thing to acknowledge. Then the second thing to acknowledge is when it comes to institutions, I think we have to all agree that these institutions were meant for public policy. They were meant to create the way forward as far as public interest is concerned. So, for example, if government issues tenders to the public, it's meant to decentralize, economic freedom to the people who are not even able to access certain business deals. The government gives an opportunity. For example, if you owned a furniture business, you should have been able to prove that you can be able to execute the delivering of furniture at State House and all that. But no, what you're seeing is very few people are able. And McKenna Bede, I think you probably might want to shed a light on how tenders work, since you know many people in government and you've tried to vie for an MP position in Korea East. But what I'd want to say is why are institutions that are meant to drive public policy uh, being used against the same public? Why can't the public have any say in how these institutions work for them? So my idea was um, these guys walitoka US, by the way, walienda tukafanya inaitwaje field trip. They went for a field trip the same way in high school we used to go for benchmarking in Alliance Boys, Alliance Girls, go to Kenya High for benchmarking, you come back to your school, you don't implement anything. So we would like to tell them, at least the fact that you went to the US with taxpayer money, come back and realize two things. First of all, these countries that you're going to benchmark at, they did whatever they had to do. They used slave labor. They colonized other countries for resources so that their own people are well fed. The only way you can play politics to the maximum is when you have paid your dues to the public, and every other game you want to play out there doesn't really matter to us. I don't think Kibe mtu anakanga hivi chini anafikiria Ruto alienda discuss nini na Putin or Kim Jong-un if you ever went to another country to discuss things with another head of state. All people care about is easily are people able to access the government expenditure and also serve as votes. Now, the other thing we also have to agree as a public is we have so many things to do. Hakuna siku hata I'm sure out of this how many people listening here? Maybe 2,000 people listening here. Maybe 1,500 have not even read the finance bill. That's a fact. But that's what journalists to the lay person uko chini. So let's not also guilt trip each other or agree the government to guilt trip us into how many of you have read the finance bill. Journalists are there for that reason, and I'm pretty sure there are very many competent journalists of our time and era. And this is how we should occupy State House. We should demand that, all the press secretary that is Isaac Mora. Then there's also the press secretary to the presidency, that is Emmanuel Talam. These people, anybody who occupies these positions should have even more information to do with government, to do with geopolitics, more than even the president himself. So if we want to occupy State House, let us occupy it in this way. If kwanza Kimuzi naonanga kifanya threads mingi sana huko za scandals, like the one he did on that Kimorel Dam scandal, why can't we demand that we should have somebody who holds a position, whether let's call it the press secretary to the government, and every Friday there are competent journalists who show up the same way in the US government they do it. I don't know how often I think the US does it on a daily basis, but for us weekly is enough. The government doesn't have to have something to tell us. We are the only ones who need to demand answers. So every Friday these people will be called State House correspondents. Go there. It's what's it called? Aired on. We can suggest KTN because they were the ones who decided to be the most transparent. They can have exclusive rights to air that kind of stuff.
Where? A shield. Yani, if I let you go, you can go into imagination. Now you're in KTN.
No, it's an example of a channel that should be awarded exclusive rights to do that. So that every Friday these journalists who are representing hata kama ni Tuko, hata kama ni Kenyans.co.ke,
Your idea ni horrible. Because sasa wewe unataka ututoe place tuko na nguvu uturudishe back to the system.
So I thought you said the system, there's nothing wrong with the system.
No, but hiyo ni this is something the TV stations and the radio stations wished they had, but they don't.
to do that. So probably we could like I said, KTN, they've already shown their loyalty to the movement. They should be allowed. They should look transparent. Correct. The public has certain issues that they need to follow up on, because like let's say the president came yesterday, fine, not everybody was able to talk. Even in that sit up with the journalists, every time they have to go to State House and engage the press secretary, it will probably be like 15 minutes. They won't always have time to comment every week. Somebody will always get an opportunity, and you see, the journalists are the ones who need to be and to the public from a layman point of view.
I'm just wondering, I think media is always used to
I know media is only loyal to what people want to hear, but that's exactly what they're going to do. They don't go asking questions based on what the government wants us to hear. It's what we want to hear. So they go with those exact questions. For example, if there's a scandal going on the ground, the journalist will go with that exact question, because that's what they want to inform us on, because those are the questions going on the ground.
But Shield, politicians are created to manipulate you. They will tell you what you want to hear. So you're sending people who want to give us what we want to hear to people who know how to cook what we want to hear. How does that make sense?
Okay, if you're working with facts and figures, let's say, for example, I am a State House correspondent from a certain media house. Andrew Kibe is the that position in the government spokesman or office. If I come and ask him a question to do with State House right now, to do with the government, he should be even more informed than the politicians themselves. So that when I ask a question and he is the one answering, he may not answer at that point. Why? Because he is speaking on behalf of the government. So he can only speak what he has been, what's it called, mandated to speak. But he will still speak from a point of facts and figures. And if he doesn't have an answer for that time, and he has to go and confer with his superiors, there's the next
Shield,
Friday. There's the next Friday to do that.
but Shield, see, the albino is already doing that.
The what? The albino.
The albino.
How often does Alfred Mutua probably used to do that? But this one doesn't do that.
So the position, you see what I'm trying to get you, Shield, away from, is this old school way of doing things. Because that old school way has been passed by Wakati. It's the same way like now telling the Gen Z to wait for 7 o'clock news. They're like, why? Why would I wait for 7 o'clock news? Everything I need to know is going to come to me on my WhatsApp. I'm seeing it on Instagram. So this old school way, even for you to think of mainstream media in any way, shape or form, means that you're still very old school. And that's why yesterday I was having the time of my life seeing the president trying to navigate the spaces, even with someone like Hussein Ali, who many may not know, but is an old school system guy. Someone like Itumbi is an old school system guy. So these guys come in, they study whatever system there is, who are representing you, so to speak, and not your people. These are people who came and taking the duff.
Okay, Kibe, the reason I came up with this idea is because we realized how much of an effort we had to make to just be heard, because the only message was reject the finance bill. It was supposed to be that simple. But now things getting to this point just to get a point across. So I think we need to first admit, first of all, that the president may not be leaving office before his term. Because we need to follow up on the servers, the votes, na expenditure. So every time there's correspondence between the media and the government, itwajeka media, hata kama ni ka radio station ka Geto Radio, those people need to be coming to State House every Friday to follow. There's a blockchain with every voters. Every voter needs to know
But
that
but
by
you
the
know,
time we're getting. Yeah, but
Shield.
my point is right
Hold up,
now
hold
is
up, hold up, hold up,
we need to
hold up,
negotiate. Yeah.
hold up. You see, now we're exactly where we need to be, and it's good that McKenna is. How you guys decide, or is it how do we decide what the agenda is? Because I remember I thought the reject finance bill agenda came from Amerix. Okay, the new agenda. How do we decide on it? Because that agenda is as important as instructions given by a general. So we cannot say, now this is what we're going to do. A leader who makes decisions that some of you might not even like. Movement is dead in the water because there are some decisions that need to be made. And as long as you don't have a leader, those decisions will never be made. And you have to step away from this person and let them make the decisions, whether you think the decisions are good or the decisions are bad. That's what representation is all about. Before we go to John William, how are you, my man?
Yeah, I'm easy, bro. I'm easy. I was listening to what Shield was saying, and I'm like, what's happening here? That way. Those are the olden ways of doing things. And also, I'll give other people a chance to speak. But why should we entrust someone to read this document that affects the entire country? Why should we place that responsibility on another person? I think as a patriotic citizen, it is our responsibility to read it and understand it. Then from there, we can pick it up from there. Not to rely on journalists because they will sell us agendas. Shield, are we together on that? Yeah, anyway, thank you for having me, Kibe. Boniface, the one with the hand up. Okay, I'll go.
Yes. Hi guys.
Yes,
Hi guys.
yeah,
Hi.
hi.
I'm here, Chris.
Because
Now,
John, hold on.
I'll,
Boniface, go ahead.
I'll first of all react to, was it Miriam or who was talking about the media? Um, if you Google me, Boni Nyaga, I've written for in Nation Media more than 12 years. I've written over 5,000 articles, and I'm in PR right now, and that idea will never work. I'll give you for free. One thing you have to understand, the media is a conflict of interest. Okay. On one side, you have the media house that's just trying to sell advertisement. They don't really care. On the other side, you have the advertiser, whether it's who has a commercial interest or a political interest. Then you have you, who's the public. You're going there to either be entertained. 'Cause, 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 ' it's that conflict of interest that actually creates what you see in the news. So to think that the media can be there to be a watchdog, my friend, that's a big lie. Just agency. Our work is to package the communication of our clients and get it out there. That's it. So the thing you have to understand about the media, it is a marketplace of conflict of interests. Now, if you are an activist and you have your and then it's also a place where constituents, you go there with a constituents. Okay. So if you are an activist and you have your constituents, like if it's this, if, for example, if it is Kibe with his space here, you guys are his constituents. So if I come and interview Kibe, and which I'll probably need to interview him for one of my articles, he will be speaking on your behalf, and I will write down his quotes based on what he tells me. So, and the journalist is not an activist. The journalist is not there to hold. Okay, he can ask questions if you guys are asking. If you notice, like with the round table, everything that all those journalists were asking, they're saying people are saying. So you have to be the activist. You have to raise your voices, and that's one thing I love about this whole new dispensation that we are in, is that people are speaking. Okay. So even me as a journalist now, I can quote you guys and actually to be, to give every side. My job is just to create a platform. The activists are saying this, people on Twitter are saying this is what the president says, and I have to be balanced. So one, the issue of, and I know right now we're talking about this with Kibe to some extent, that yes, we need a leader of the Gen Z or whatever you're calling it. But at the end of the day, whoever that leader is, we need to stop having that leader and have an interest. What is our interest? Our interest is, I need to have a job. If Ruto is going or not, I mean, again, let me play my journalist card and say that's up to the people. If Ruto must go, then he must go. But whoever is replacing him, at the end of the day, one thing I have to say is we need to continue holding in these forums and on all these platforms, whether it's in one-on-one talking or whatever. We have to continue applying this pressure. Now, there's something we've said about in this space, and what my estate, Atokiwa call right now, if I call people from my estate, be like, oh, I'm busy, oh, I'm in the Mara, oh, I'm out of the country, oh, I don't know what. These guys won't show up. So as much as we're saying, yes, the is run by people from Shags or whatever, technically we all came from Shags. If not, even the people who are in Nairobi, our parents came from Shags. So we may be first generation estate people or Nairobi people, but at the end of the day, there's the generation that not there. But at the end of the day, middle class.
No.
And I agree with you.
You cannot say it's neither here nor there. Here nor there. It is everything to them.
Then let them stand up.
How dare you dismiss it? What are you saying, bro? It is as
What I'm saying
important
is,
as somebody who's been raised anywhere else, including the ghetto. Why would you dismiss it?
I'm saying
Why
it's
is
neither.
this? Hold up. Why is
Let me
this?
make my point.
Hold up.
Ask the question. Ask the question. Yes. Ask. Yes.
Why is this constituency so easy to dismiss that you can say it's neither here nor there? No, it is here and there. It's a big deal to us.
It's called a democracy. So it's a rule of the majority. So mobilize your constituency. And I'm telling you that because I have been a community
But
leader in the
no,
estates.
but you see, you're the same one who was telling me that you've been an estate guy and everything.
Yes.
Did you ever think that your children would go to the streets?
No, and that is why I'm actually very happy to see this whole move. For the
Exactly.
first time, we are
We don't know
actually
anything.
seeing. So we are actually seeing, and that's what I'm saying. We need more of that.
Didn't
So
you
what
hear
I'm
what
saying
the
is,
kids
and
were saying? Didn't you hear what they were saying? They were saying, listen, we are not like our parents. We are not scared. We're going to go do whatever it is, and we're going to take whatever it is that belongs to us. So they have seen the fear that we have, which is what you're selling here, saying estate people don't come out. But you saw estate people in town last week, all over the country.
now I'm waiting for 2027 and see if they'll come out and vote also.
No, you see,
That's my point.
that's a wrong mentality, because they've already played their part. You guys are not meeting them halfway with these
So what do we
systems and
need to do?
structures.
So
Because all you're
here's the
doing is
thing.
beating them down every time you see
someone from the estate stand, let them go to the WhatsApp group. Like I'll give you an example of Kiwana. You've seen the Kiwana guys, the guys for, is it Kilalesho or whatever? Those guys, even the guys of Karen, those estate organizations. Okay, and so what I'm saying is this: there is a certain laxity that has been there in the middle class financially and in kind, and come out and say, yes, this person is representing us. And by the way, I do agree with you that yes, the middle class do need representation. Okay, and yes, the middle class do have. And if you go to Kiwana, go see what those guys are doing down there. They even have festivals. They call the Nini. Robert Alai down there doesn't have a very easy time because those guys they have systems.
Do you know the one called Karengata?
Yes, Karengata. That's the other one that is also very good. There's
Do
also
you know?
some very
Do
good
you know
ones.
why? Do you know why Karengata has remained powerful? Because Karengata was run by people in Karen. You cannot come. They blocked flats in Karen till today, but everywhere else, people came in and took whatever it is that they wanted, because there was no people who stood up and said, "This belongs to us." Karengata has proved.
Have participated in some of those estate meetings. And one time I remember when it was strong, some security thing had happened. Guys were stolen, and guys called in a meeting, and we called in the before the MCA. I don't know what they used to be called. Those whatever they used to be called, the MCAs used to be called before. We called in for a meeting and told them, look, we don't like the security situation. One, we need street lights, Hapa. We need paved. Let me tell you, in less than 2 weeks, that street was paved. Was raised, I don't know, 100 and something thousand, then guys fizzled out. So what I'm saying is this: the middle class, I agree with you 100%. They need representation, but they need to step up. And I'm glad, like you're saying, it's good. We have seen our the Gen Zs have stood up and they have coming out, and even spaces like this, guys are coming out. So let's keep the pressure, and not just even the estates. Let's talk about professional groups. Okay, we need to get to a point where professional groups are actually representing the what are these guys called? Nema was hustling guys, and also the Kanjo hustling guys. We came together. I was part of the team that put together some DJ association. But after a while, ujinga ikaingia. Watu wakaanza party politics came in, and that thing died. It died a natural death. So what we need is strong institutions, leadership, and leadership is not just government. Okay, if you are a journalist.
So now, Boniface, because I need to move on. I've been here for very long. So
okay,
let's stop talking about what we need, because the idea is integrity.
Okay,
The
very
idea
true.
is you wish there was a ball somewhere out there that you would go filled with people who have integrity, honest people that you could pick and put in these positions. Don't you wish for that?
Yes, yes.
But
I am.
you know it doesn't exist.
There are pockets of it. It's not mass scale. There are pockets of it, and so what we need is find the right, those few. There's always a few good apples, even in a big. The Bible talks of there's a remnant. There's always a remnant somewhere. So even in a
Good.
bag.
So the problem here is this, and this is now where I want us to focus, because this is like creating a whole new Gaba, okay? Because you must think of all facets, many moving parts. Many moving parts. So that you jump in with all these moving parts, because the idea is to get in and change the system from outside, isn't it?
And also hold
from
that
inside.
new system into, okay, whatever change needs to happen. What I'm saying is you form the system, but that same system has to be held from account, even from the outside. So it's not just because we were here before with NAC, Kenya. All these speeches guys were using in this revolution were speeches of Ruto and Kindiki and all these guys before they got into government. So here's the thing. Fine, if we did a new system, that's what I'm saying. If Ruto must go, fine, let him go. Whatever system comes in, sir. If Kibe, you are the next MP for Langata, no problem. You campaign, stand on whatever platform, mobilize your base from the estates to fund you. Run the whole thing, get in there. But the minute you're in there, we'll be back. We need to be back here at the same space, telling you, Kibe, by the way, you it's okay.
Your ideas. I would really like to move to the next person, because if otherwise I might not be able to have everyone giving in their opinion. But
Okay, can you hear me then?
now speak loud enough.
Hear me? Smartest politician that he is, sort of find a way of killing the rallying call. Dead. With their things. If you look at Boniface Mwangi, he's hosting people at Uhuru Park tomorrow. People are trying to find their way. So I was saying, we've talked, we've been talking, we've been having, ideas coming in and out, It's time to maybe now put, as in, to walk the talk. We can decide to everyone now to wewe uende na mtu wako. We want to interest yangu ina match na interest yako. Let's work together. Let's do this. And I was feeling if we could maybe be serious, because people tomorrow. Everyone, when this thing started, Hanifa was on the other side, Boniface Mwangi was on the other side, and Guaido was on this other side. Now, Boniface Mwangi and Hanifa sort of had a common interest, and now they are working together. And it is not going to be about Gen Zs anymore. It is going to be about the two of them. Because politics is about interest, if you ask me. We are all ranting here, but I mean, we want to be there. We want to be on the table. We want to be. We have interest. It's not about. It's not even about this country or something. To be honest, it is about your personal interest. Because when your personal interests are catered for, you assume the country is okay. If you ask me. So, and when you're there and you have the best interest of the country, you will always sort of do what is right in spite of the fact that you have your own interest. So I was thinking if we could be serious, take this to another level, meet here the next day with different agendas. Kibe is the one hosting us, Sai. I mean, he has the numbers. We could come up with something pragmatic, something that is going to be
Hey,
sustainable.
John. You see,
Yes.
instead of you working with us with possibilities, I want you to tell me. Don't say we could. Why don't you say we should do A,
What
B,
I'm
C, and
saying.
D? I want you to be solution oriented.
I'm saying if Kibe Makena, blah blah blah. Can we do something? Can we maybe form a political party? Can we start? Can we sort of have our own interests put together and unite, and we can even go to state house as someone was saying. I mean, it is not about
Opinion.
person comes. Will I also be comfortable with that? Because if Ruto goes, someone is coming in. If that person is not me, then I will not. I will not be. I will not be okay with the person, Bado. So, but if that person sort of represent my interest, I will be okay with that person. So it is not just about Ruto. So if we can have our own political outfit, sit
Now you're just going back and
that is what I was saying. Hiyo tu ndo kitu mimi niko nasema. If we could
tumieni majina bro. To protect these people that you're going to call your leaders. You that you're sounding here. Oh, we'll just come up with somebody. Will come one day. We shall magically come up with presenters magically.
somebody something about structures.
No, you cannot
We
make
could have.
structures
We cannot
without
have a.
leadership. How can you make? Who's going to decide what the structures are going to look like?
That is what I was saying. You have a huge following. I was saying if we could use you, create structures,
No,
and
you
see the way
guys,
forward.
if you want me to do the job, you must come through the front door. You don't tell me we could use you. What do you mean use me? What I look like a langa to you or what?
That is what
No, no, no. You see, let me
he's
tell you,
saying. You guys,
I'm asking you guys. Then at some point you're going to ask me who is
this is
told.
what you say, and this is what you're saying. You're saying, you guys, I want us to do this and this. This is what you're trying to say, but you want to beat around the bush.
No, you're still not getting it. You're not getting. Because you know right now, consistency, hamuna, discipline, teeth, because it has no discipline and no consistency. Because discipline means that tomorrow we shall do whatever it is we said we're going to do today. It doesn't matter how people slept. It doesn't matter who talked to you during the night. And now you're looking at your Osama, and that is your representative, a drunkard.
Osama is no one's representative.
A drunkard is your representative. That is the person of a looter. So this is the person who represents you. So when you guys say, hey, we need a leader,
Kibe, how are you?
yes, bro, talk to
Are you referring to a Nairobian or
problem with anyone. I don't have a problem with people who come from the village.
yeah?
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah, I just say that if you're going to be
So do you think if someone is represented by their own people, which I do understand when you say that, do you think they would
his papers are legit? So we don't know who the fuck this guy is. Remember, he came to us through TNA. Before TNA, we didn't know him.
Yep.
So
What
Sakaja
about
cannot
the
say this.
MCS? Do you think you have MCS who come from where you live? Because I'm sure from Kileleshwa as compared to
You didn't listen to what I said. You were just so quick to just jump onto it. You didn't understand what I said. I
Yeah.
said, if this person is a foreigner to this constituency, then the constituency is being run by the MCAs. So whatever CDF is there, the CDF is being cooled by the MCAs.
No, by the MP, because the MP is as a committee and they have representatives from every location.
Do you know how much corruption there is in CDF?
A lot of corruption, and that's
So
why
what
the
the fuck
court
are you talking
ruled.
about? Because you're trying to
Yeah,
make it look
so
like there's no corruption. The only reason why the MPs are doing better than everybody else is because they have 190 million worth of CDF every year.
thank you, and that's exactly where I wanted us to go, because everyone is failing in that CDF committee. Their representatives. It's a committee
They are failing. Yeah,
Because like
they
now in
do
Langata,
present. Mm-hmm.
in Langata, the economic bloc is not the people who live in the ghettos. Unaelewa?
Actually, the ghetto are more. The ghetto are more, even though
No,
they are
you're
part.
just going to argue for the sake of arguing.
No, it's
You're going
true,
to
Kibe.
argue for the sake of
The
arguing.
apartment.
How can the
You're in a
ghettos be
3-bedroom.
more?
In
How
a
does that make
ghetto,
any
there are like
sense?
5 people in a single room. What are you saying,
Ah,
Kibe? There are more numbers in ghettos.
Makena,
Okay?
keep there's only two people in the house. Four-bedroom house, and yet there's only two people in this house.
You have the reality, Chris. That's what
Bro,
happens.
now I'm beginning to question
If
how you view
okay,
reality, bro.
then you in numbers in your own. If you have numbers, why don't you elect yourselves then? That's why it's called informal settlement. A single room will host 9 kids, 2 parents. That's the reality.